your morning starlight. Lose views in gates when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Your daily dose, here we go. GhanaTalks breakfast show. GhanaTalks breakfast show. Only on GhanaTalks radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day. Every voice, every vision, lighting up the way.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Your daily is when the voices align. GhanaTalks breakfast show.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your daily dose for the relevant stories making waves in the news. This is the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. It's a beautiful brand new week. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is your favorite online radio station, the only online radio station you can carry along wherever you go. Remember that you are streaming live on GhanaTalks Radio, on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio TV, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. Do also log on, join us this morning as we become your morning companion. This morning, joining me in the studios, we have Ms. Debbie Adoso and Ms. Regina Bless, and we will be bringing you the news review, the relevant stories making waves in the news. Good morning to you, ladies, and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Debbie. Hope all is well.
The grace is always sufficient.
Ms. Regina.
The grace is sufficient.
Preacher of the year. You feel like you don't send a video. It's an error for you not to send a video. It's an error.
Yeah, just a witch. I will rebuke that spirit.
Anyway, we are proud of you.
Thank you.
I pray this morning you come and pray for me. You come and prophesy in my life. Okay. So there's a lot going on from the camp, especially from the camp of the NPP. A lot is going on. Just yesterday, the videos I was seeing and the stories that were, coming up due to the arrest of Miracles Abuaje after, pronouncing that he's aspiring to hold a particular position in the party, and also the arrest of Efrifa, Fatachi Efrifa. Yes, a lot is going on during their branch elections. I think within a week. Hey.
But I missed a lot.
Oh, you missed a lot. You missed a lot. Missing ballot papers, violence. Hey. My question is, can these people really heal before we move into the 2028 elections? Because what I saw on social media alone, maybe that was the only part they wanted us to see. What about the ugly parts that wasn't brought to light? There's a lot. But let's get into what we have today for the news review. Ghana to deploy 300 teachers to the Bahamas under new Labour Pact. Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has announced that 300 Ghanaian teachers will be recruited to work in the Bahamas this year under a new labor cooperation agreement between the two countries. The announcement followed official talks during Mr. Ablakwa's visit to the Bahamas, where he represented President John Dramani Mahama at the country's 53rd independence anniversary celebrations. According to the minister, the recruitment marks the first phase of a broader education partnership aimed at expanding labor mobility between Ghana and the Bahamas. He said the agreement builds on the strong reputation Ghanaian professionals, especially nurses, have already established under an existing bilateral agreement. Mr. Ablakwa noted that Bahamian authorities have praised the professionalism and work ethic of Ghanaian nurses, creating the opportunity to extend the partnership to the education sector. He also reaffirmed the commitment of both countries to strengthen bilateral relations and highlighted the historical and cultural ties between Ghana and the Bahamas, with many Bahamanians tracing their ancestry to Ghana. The minister added that the Mahama administration will continue to pursue international partnerships that create employment opportunities and deliver direct benefits for Ghanaians. So this is a good news for, the teaching sector, because some people very soon will be exported or deployed to the Bahamas to go and teach. And this is as a result of the bilateral agreements that certain countries had with Ghana in terms of, deploying some of Ghanaian nurses to these countries. I think we saw that this year, where we saw some nurses being deployed to a particular country to go and work for them. And with a good name they've been able to carry due to their professionalism and work ethics, now they are, trying to extend that to the teaching sector as well. So who knows, maybe in the coming months, you might be the lucky teacher traveling to Bahamas to go and teach. Miss Debbie, what do you make of this? Our labor force being transported to Bahamas to go and work, whereas we have teachers who are being needed to teach in school. You go to certain schools and you see one teacher teaching about 10 subjects, and you ask yourself, don't we have teachers? And now they are deploying about 300 teachers to go and work outside the country.
Yes, so this is not the first time we are seeing something of this sort happening right here in Ghana, but I feel like this isn't the best solution either, because just as you said, we still have schools that are grappling with shortages of teachers, which these teachers need to be employed to these vulnerable schools to teach the students. Now, when this happens, it means that we have excess teachers in the system, which the government cannot employ at a go. And so the government is doing this to reduce the numbers of unemployed teachers we have in the country. But as I said, this is not a permanent solution to solve the number of teachers that graduate each year. If that is the case, then they should also reduce the number of students they employ in these training colleges and universities, because it doesn't make sense when you complete school and you are not employed. And what is the essence of you going to school? So this is not the best solution. For me, it's sad. It is sad. It's sad because these people are going to add up to the working force of other countries and grow their country, but then we keep lacking behind because we don't have enough. Let me say we don't have enough infrastructure to employ these teachers, which is very, very bad. So the best thing should be done. The right thing should be done instead than we sending our teachers out. And to the teachers who are interested, I feel like this is the right opportunity for you to grab the chance, because things of this sort comes once and for all. And I know a lot of government workers, they are eager to travel out of the country, and that is because they have the notion that when you're out of the country, you make more money. Life out there is better than when you are in this country. So they will grab this opportunity, and I can tell that people are ready with their files and everything. I know this is not just going to happen in a way that maybe they need them. You are going to go through process like interview, you present your papers, something that shows that you are eligible before they can send you outside the country. The fact that you've graduated doesn't mean that you'll be given the go ahead to travel outside the country. I remember the recent one they did with the nurses. There is a test you write.
Yeah.
Then after that, they will grade you, and then the percentage when you qualify, then so be it. So for me, it is not the best option. The best option is to fix the deficit when it has to do with our education system. If the buildings are the challenges, then we should build it. If the buildings are not the challenges, and we feel like schools are lacking these teachers to teach the students, we should employ them rather than sending them out. Are we not tired of demonstrations day in, day out? And therefore the teachers as well. It's a big opportunity. It's better you grab it now, because in Ghana here there's so what we need.
Miss Regina.
Okay, so with this, should I say good news that has been given to us? It comes in two forms. First off, we have the positive aspect of it and the negative aspect of it. Looking at the positive aspect of it, I think it's a good call to have this kind of relation or rapport with other countries. So a point where we are taking some of our labor force to their country is a good thing, and it speaks well of us. Now the negative aspect of it is, as a country, we ourselves are suffering from lack of teachers. That is something we are supposed to be looking at. We are suffering from lack of teachers to a point where the Ministry of Education themselves have said categorically that they don't have the resources to employ these teachers. And these schools we have in Ghana here, the children are lacking behind, because a child can't go to school without a teacher. It doesn't make sense. So they need to make sure that in as much as they are taking some of our labor forces to other countries, they also need to fix their country first. You don't take the equipment that you are supposed to use to fix your country to another country to fix it. It is not done anywhere. It's just like, say, almost say, just when you know you would you would the answer now, simple as ABC. If they do that, what are they trying to say? Is it that our education sector is no longer strong? We need strong education sector, because they say education is key to success. So they need to make sure that they really invest in our education. Sorry, they really invest in the education sector. If they say that we don't have money, that this children are born, or mobile born. I'm learning on my own. Even we adults, we go sit in classroom for a lecturer to teach us. How much more akola? So then you really need to look into our education sector and make sure that everything runs smoothly. That is where, if you are comfortable enough, you send other people outside. Exactly. It's just like you're in your house, you yourself, you are not comfortable, you can't take off your children. Now what's more in Kolagusu? It's not done anyway. So they really need to look into it. But aside that, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. And looking at the kind of, compliments they left out, especially with the nurses that were deployed, they mentioned that they like their work ethics. They love their professionalism. So due to that, they would like to extend that to the teaching sector also. In as much as is a good one there. And we have to sort out people here. Should that be done before we deploy the people? Or as the opportunity has come now, we should just allow them to go?
And since the opportunity has come, we should allow them to go. I believe there are lots of teachers in the country. But the main issue is we are lacking those people around us. But now we are sending them away. So the opportunity has come. The government says they don't have the money to employ them. So the best thing is to do is to let them go. You shouldn't be konongo kaya. So it is good thing that
Well, Miss Debbie, are we not making this a norm? We've seen the nurses go. We are about to see the teachers also going. Very soon they'll be asking for carpenters and doors. Is that not sending our labor force there?
Yeah, that is exactly what it means. It means, yes. And that is because the government sees it this way. They believe that we have the teachers in excess. So to reduce that, they will need to send them away. And if you do that, it means that you are increasing the labor force of other countries. And then you are decreasing yours. Now, I don't feel like there will be a time where Ghana will lack teachers or nurses, because every year, the schools admit new students into the universities, into the colleges, where they train them to become professional teachers and professional nurses. Now, the problem is, after you've been trained to be a professional nurse or a professional teacher, where to exhibit your skill is not available. It's not readily available. So there is this colleague of mine who did nursing. As for him, he did nursing and he top up, and he's now a medical doctor. He's not employed. Now, this is what he told me. Then the nursing field is not a field where when you are trained, you need to sit on like 5 years before you get employed. By that time, whatever you've been taught in school, because
It's gone.
you don't practice it, it becomes quite like
Difficult.
Yes, and then the skills diminishes. But in the nursing is a field where immediately you are done, you need to be employed. So immediately you are employed, you start practicing what you've been practicing all the way back from school, because the nurses, they are filled in such in a way that if you are on break, you do clinicals, you don't sit in the house. So then in day out you trained, but after you've been trained and then they don't employ you. So imagine, we still have people that have completed school way back in 2018, 2019, and these people are nurses. They are still in the household. They've not been employed.
Exactly.
So imagine President Mahama stands up one day and then he feels like, no, we need to employ more people, but then we are not going to start from this current batch. We want to start from way back from 2018. Next year, so it means you are now going to restart. Like, they find it difficult. And these are human beings. You deal with human beings. It is not computer. If it's computer, at least when you cause a mess, you can fix it, or we have technicians who can fix it. But with human life, immediately you a tiny mistake can cause the life of a person, and when that happens, there is no technician who can revive you. If you are dead, you are dead. That is it. So I feel like the right thing should be done. All this thing they are doing is to dodge unemployment, but unemployment is glaring in our faces. There is no way we can do away with it. So the best thing is we should do the right thing. That is it.
Yeah, so
we should do the right thing.
So when they started deploying the nurses to other countries to go and work there, I mentioned that why can't they deploy teachers to also go and work in other countries? And I think the person it was actually on the show during the second segment, and the guest mentioned that when it comes to nursing, they have a particular standard, and it looks like it follows a particular format. When they are supposed to inject you, they know how they inject you and all of that. It comes with, but with the teaching, it's like I'm coming to teach you what I actually understand about this particular topic or this particular subject. So with that, it doesn't really have a standard. Just as we saw Abadop, where she mentioned that she went to China and she went to pronounce a particular word and she was fired.
Yeah.
So I think it explains why it's difficult to deploy other teachers to other countries to go and work. But now we've gotten the opportunity, so we have to grab it. We are just hoping that when you go there, you learn how they pronounce certain words. Other words, yes,
different from ours.
Yes, so exactly. So I think that explains that. Let's proceed to our next news item. Sanitation should be integrated into 24-hour economy plan. Akosia Menu, spokesperson for the NPP's Gender and Social Protection Committee, is calling for sanitation to be included in Ghana's proposed 24-hour economy policy. According to her, introducing a shift system for sanitation workers would ensure round-the-clock cleaning of drains, waste collection and desilting activities while creating more employment opportunities. She argued that Ghana's sanitation challenges cannot be solved by occasional cleanup exercises alone, but require long-term planning and stronger institutional support. While acknowledging that citizens have a responsibility to keep their surroundings clean, she said there are structural problems that governments must address to improve waste management. Her comments come after the recent National General Cleaning Exercise held in flood-affected communities across the country. Akosia Menu also questioned that if waste collected during cleanup exercises is not removed promptly, it could create another environmental problem with heaps of refuse left alongside the road. She therefore called for better coordination among institutions responsible for sanitation and suggested that the proposed 24-hour economy should be used to ensure continuous waste collection, drain maintenance, and environmental management. So we saw the national cleanup exercise, which took up on Friday and also on Saturday, where we saw some of our reporters on field. Some were carrying sand, hairpans, some were pushing wheelbarrows. Everybody was involved. If you were not a part of it, shame on you. Yes, so this is what Akosia Menu is saying. She's saying that it should be inculcated into the 24-hour economy, where there should be a shift for people that will collect rubbish and make sure that they are going to work around the clock to make sure that our cities are clean. In as much as it is the responsibility of every citizen to make sure that their households are clean, it's also a structural problem that a government should also see to it that they play their parts. But before we move into this particular article, I want to ask that the general cleaning actually happened. We saw in Alajo and I think in all communities and whatsoever. But after the general cleaning, do you think that it has really created any impact? Are drains really clear now, Miss Debbie, in your area?
The value is the same.
The value. Oh, but I saw your MP on grounds where he blasted one lady and he's been trending now, and people were actually hailing him for being honest.
That is for camera.
Oh, are you sure?
But
I think from the way he's
angry.
He was really angry. It came out of a place of pain.
It is the longevity of what they are doing, not the short term. Whatever they are doing is just for a short period. And I'm saying that because the exercise went on. Yes, people clean their frontages, but not all the areas. If you go to Makati, the Makati junction where the bus stop is, the gutter is still the same. They've not cleared anything. The gutter is still choked with sand. And then when you get to Malam Junction, after they've cleared the gutter, the heap of sand, they left it there. I don't know who they are waiting for to come and gather it from there. Yes, I don't know. But this whole thing about cleaning operation, clean your frontage, operation clean your gutters, which we see it as a means of preventing flood. As I said, it's something that is being done just for a short period of time. We can only keep up to this if we are disciplined enough. So when I saw the exercise ongoing, one thing I told myself is, I did me 1 week. 1 week. Oh, it's true, 1 week. I don't know whether you also came across a video where I've forgotten the place. They've cleaned the place, and then when it was the bus stop now, a group of people came to sat there, and then they left rubbish on the floor. And the man got angry.
Yeah.
Sorry, you saw that video?
Yeah, and he even sacked them.
He sacked them, and then he told them to pick the rubbish on the floor. So it looks as if the more some people have ordained themselves to clean the system, we still have some witches and wizards amongst us that have made up their mind that no matter the effort you are putting in place to keep the system clean, they are ready to keep it dirty. So as you are keeping it clean, others are keeping it dirty. This exercise we are talking about, and you people
may say not everybody.
It is only 10 out of 100% that cleaned their in front of their shops or their houses. It is only a few. Regina and I went to Antieku. We saw only some 2 or 3 people cleaning their frontage. The rest of them, what they did was that they closed the shops and they were in the house. They didn't clean anything. And then the people who are supposed to go around and ensure that these people are doing the right thing were walking about aimlessly. And then when we tried to talk with them, they said they won't talk. And it was later we got to know allegedly from this resident that they wanted them to the resident to tip them before they will do what is expected of them. So it should tell you that this mindset here, we are not ready to change. We are not ready to change unless there is a strict rule. Then you do it because you know that this is the right thing, and then you're not doing it. So what else do you want the government to do?
Because see, the president can decide not to mind us, and if it rains today, foul, no, maybe on the 1 million should say flooding. Even if it's flood, because the safety of the president is a concern, we might even end up flying him outside the country for his safety. What kaha? Where you passport in Nibi? So we then fly. So you see, this whole cleanup exercise. It is good for me. I feel like we should do it twice every month, the beginning of every month and the ending of every month for 12 months. That is 1 year.
Right. So should it be added to the 24-hour economy, just as Akoso Menu has stated? Where we are going to have workers also working throughout the night, collecting rubbish, clearing the drains.
And how much are you going to pay them?
It's going to be a monthly job, just as the way you go for a shift, 8 hours, then they pay you.
And how much is the pay? Because even the ones they are doing, I remember when Zoom Lion was still in active mode, they were paying this Zoom Lion workers 200 cedis a month.
But Zoom Lion actually came out for the cleanup as
well. Oh yeah, they
did.
I
think I saw their CEO too.
They did.
Yeah.
See, where the issue is getting to, this is not about whether you've cancelled contracts with the government or not, because your safety is also at risk, so you need to do it. But how much do they pay these people? The patriotism or the patriotic lifestyle of these people are being taken for granted. You pay them 200 cedis. No, wait, even the people that they pay them 3,000 a month.
Well, you know that there's a whole lot of controversy surrounding how much these people are being paid, because allegedly that's not the money they are supposed to
That is not the money they are supposed to pay them, but the intermediaries who are supposed to give the accurate amount to these people are taking a percentage of it, and they're giving just a penny to these people. So you see, this 24-hour thing, no, they can only devote themselves to work fully from their heart if the pay is encouraged. Because trust me, if the pay is not encouraged, I won't waste my sleep and come and be clearing gutters that the next day a sensible human being will pour refuse in there again, and then you're making the work difficult for me. I won't do it.
Even if this is inculcated in the 24-hour economy, don't you think that will even encourage people to even litter them more? Because they have the notion that people are being paid to be working around the clock to make sure that the city is clean. Into a numero than a ball of because on him say at the betchino, Gofano Mabi Juma saying numero or Mobefa.
So do you know what they will do? If they want to do 24 hours this thing, then it means that they have to deploy the police too. 24 hours. To be guarding this and we should be guarding gutters.
People are cleaning. I saw a video. The woman was sitting in troll. Not the pure taraba, like cabin. Fem. During traffic, like traffic lights I saw, or the pure taraba out of fem, and the fire service personnel followed the car. Stop the car and made a woman get down. Go back and go and pick it.
Go back.
That is how it's supposed to be. But
go back to where.
Yes, where you dump it, go and pick it.
Imagine
and camera was on her.
From here to Eyikaswa.
You go.
Oh, that's actually happened on the stretch of Circle. Wow. I think somewhere around the Paloma Road.
That is what we are supposed to do.
Oh, it's bad though. But like nice lady like you, at least put it in a car.
I feel like the sanctions to these defaulters are not really high. They are not really demanding. See, there's some kind of punishment. Once it's given to you, you would regret. You'll be like, had I known? Because of how dear that punishment is. Well, what they did, it was a good thing. But does it end there? It doesn't end there. Some people will be like, oh, she say I mean who say money na media. Metagete and humachi. I'm the kogu this side. You wouldn't know because there are no task force that has been deployed during that time. So I think when it comes to sanitation, we have a lot to do. It's not only about organizing National Sanitation Day every month or 2 day sanitation. That is a 9-day wonder, and at the end of the day we slack again. We need to do this each and every day, and whilst we are doing it, put measures in place to make sure that people are adhering to it. People are making sure that they keep their environment clean. When we went for the reporting, one man suggested that the town council should be back again.
Back and effective.
Exactly, they are there, but the effectiveness is no longer in existence. Then times, I've not really experienced them before, but then times, the moment they hear tax force, tangas, then people are just running helter-skelter to make sure that their environments are clean. They need to make sure that they are in existence. They need to work for us to see that they are working. Once you go to the house, the place is dirty. Make sure that they clean it and also arrest them. They should pay a fine. Until once I acquire 3, ubeye ejumano, you be arrested. We are say to your fine. No one will want to go through that stress. So they'll make sure that everything goes in the way of the town council. And I don't really understand why, when it comes to sanitation, an adult like you should be, should I use the word bullied, should be disciplined before you clean your environment.
Embarrassed.
Adults. And go from see. Sometimes when you go to some people's houses, the environment shows the kind of things that are in their room. You're more in cranning and in plates, So we need to make sure that we do what we are supposed to do. We are adults. No one is a child. So we do what we are supposed to do, and we will have a safe and clean environment for everybody. But if we don't do that, we will continue to suffer these issues.
More. If we have time, we will assess the aftermath of the, the cleanup. Let's proceed to our last news item. Supreme Court should consider live broadcast to boost public confidence. Supreme Court Justice Kweku Tewia Aka Boafo says Ghana should consider live streaming some Supreme Court proceedings to improve transparency and strengthen public confidence in the judiciary. According to him, although court proceedings are already open to the public, using technology to broadcast selected cases could make it easier for more Ghanaians to follow important legal matters. He pointed to the live broadcast of the 2012 presidential election petition as an example of how public access to court proceedings can increase understanding of the judicial process. Justice Akabuafo noted that several countries already use technology to make court proceedings more accessible. He explained that the United States provides live audio and publishes court transcripts, while Canada and the United Kingdom stream proceedings through their court websites. He believes Ghana should move in a similar direction, but stressed that each or such system would require investment in technology, including websites and live streaming infrastructure. The Supreme Court judge also cautioned that Ghana's courts handle a much heavier caseload than many foreign courts, making it difficult to devote long periods to oral arguments during hearings. He further acknowledged concerns that live broadcasts could encourage lawyers to focus on public attention rather than legal arguments, but maintained that with the right safeguards and resources, broadcasting selected proceedings would benefit the justice system. So, Justice Kweku Tewia is calling for some cases that are held in a Supreme Court to be, broadcasted live. Just as we saw the 2012 election petition broadcasted. Ms. Debbie.
I think the main goal of this is to boost confidence of the people in the judiciary. Yeah. There are times where we've heard of cases pertaining politicians versus the court, and then we don't get to hear of it. The only thing we get to hear of is the final verdict, and even with that, sometimes it is alleged that it has been forged, and so whatever we heard was not the actual thing that was being done on ground. So in a way, I feel like it is right, and I like the fact that it being stated in an article that some proceedings, some cases, it means that not all cases needs to be broadcasted live, and that is because some cases are too sensitive. They will need, I feel like with some cases the person will need to go through all the proceedings before it should be aired for us to see. But when it involves cases like, let's say, politicians involved in corruption and everyone is eager following this case, for example, is the NSS scandal issue, cases like the Hanan case, like a lot of cases like this are cases that are of interest to the people. People are keenly following this cases like that of Ken Oforiatta, this Wound to Me. These are the final vet is near 24th
23rd
of
July
of this month.
I thought you were already in August. I nearly said you're true.
You are in a
Yes, Papa. So back to what I was saying, like cases of Ken Oforiatta, Hanan, Moon to Me, and all those people, they are cases that people are interestingly following. So with this case, if you are airing it, trust me, everyone will leave whatever they are doing. They'll forgo whatever they are doing to listen and know what is going on. I'm saying this because the people who communicate, even on behalf of the judiciary, end up passing across false information. Regina, remember when we went to Malam Junction? Look at what the man was saying.
Yeah, they were saying that NDC has gone to take money from World Bank.
Yes.
For what simple?
They were saying something.
that carried the flag issue.
The flag issue, yes.
NDC,
And that was MPP. And the man was saying it with
I think
both.
people need to be educated.
He was brainwashed. No, you can't. Just why not doing that?
He didn't even listen
I say
to
NDC for
That is
we
what-
NDC
yes.
journalists.
You should have.
You don't fight with excuse me, so you don't fight with a fool.
All right,
You
Miss
get it.
Regina.
That's
Miss
right.
Debbie.
Yes. So you see, such a person, I don't know where he had that info from. I don't know, because most of these people, they listen to radio stations and stuffs. They don't read. But what someone said, especially if, you know, these political communicators who come on board to talk, 99% of them are liars. We know them. When they start speaking, you can clearly tell that this person is telling lies. And that is because we read ourselves. We read because we don't want you to keep us in the dark. So we read. So immediately you start talking. If you are saying something that is false, we can clearly tell that whatever you are saying is a big lie. In fact, from the pit of hell. But you know, this uneducated, illiterate around, they don't really read. Okay, so excuse me, some of them cannot even read. But
They don't listen.
the fact that I love NDC, I love PPP, I love MPP, and so whatever communicators, when they bring a communicator, whether the person is telling lies or whatever he or she is saying is not the truth, that is what they pick. Because I love the party, so whatever the person is saying is the right thing, and that is where they get it wrong. We try explaining to this man that NDC did not take any money. It was MPP or SIDA. So you see, that is why it is very, very important that some cases are aired so that they can see with their own eyes and also listen. It's very, very important. But they don't. So whatever someone tells them is what they imbibe within. That is what they accept. But it is false. So not all cases, but cases that needs to be broadcasted. Why not? We will follow with rapt attention.
Just as we see Parliament's proceedings.
And even that of public accountability series. Yeah.
Miss Regina.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing that some of these court proceedings should be televised, publicized, so that we will know what is really going on when it comes to this judicial system or judicial process. And one thing Debbie also said that I really do agree with her is that through this process you are building the confidence of the public. You are boosting the confidence, because a lot of us have lost hope in the judicial system. It's because of one or two bribery, corruption that is really going on. But when they start adapting to this system, I think it would really help. So it's a good idea. They need to do it.
Do you also buy into it that some cases heard at the Supreme Court should be televised, should be broadcasted? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us on the news review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Virginia Bless.
Bringing you today in history on this day. Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate, was born on this day 1934 in the city of Abeokuta, British Nigeria, now in Ogun State, Nigeria. The legendary Nigerian playwright, poet and political activist holds the distinction of being the first Black African to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1986. Before rising to global literary prominence, he completed his early education in Nigeria and continued his university studies at the University of Leeds in the UK. Known for his prolific works that fuse Western theatrical elements with Yoruba folklore, his famous writings include The Lion and the Jewel and Death and the King's Horseman. 2013, the hashtag Black Lives Matter first appears, sparking a movement. It emerged in July 2013 following the acquittal of George Zimmerman for the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. This online declaration, penned as a love letter by activists Alicia Gaza, Patrice Kules, and Opal Tomiti, rapidly evolved from a digital rallying cry into a decentralized global civil rights movement. The movement's visibility expanded exponentially in 2014 following the police killings of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and Eric Garner in New York, which spurred massive on-the-ground protests and the establishment of local Black Lives Matter. The phrase has since become a fixture in conversations regarding systemic racism, police accountability, and social justice worldwide. Moving on, 1930, we have the first World Cup tournament begins in Montevideo, Uruguay. It featured 13 participating nations, with France and the United States winning the opening matches. Francis Lucien Laurent made history by scoring the first ever World Cup goal, and the host nation Uruguay ultimately claimed the inaugural championship. To some few global observances, embrace your geekness day. It is to encourage people to proudly showcase their niche passions, hobbies, and fandoms. Whether you geek out over comic books, sci-fi sagas, coding, or historical trivia, it is a day to let your specialized knowledge and enthusiasm shine without apology. The term geek has transformed from an old dialect word for a fool into a badge of honor for highly intelligent, passionate enthusiasts who dive deep into intellectually stimulating topics. Lastly, Granted Workers' Day, a light-hearted holiday for employees who are genuinely satisfied with their jobs, created by Thomas and Ruth Roy of Wellcat Holidays. It encourages people to embrace the positive aspects of their professions and spread joy by thanking hard-working service providers. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for Today in History and some observances of the day. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. The New Patriotic Party has announced plans to stage a march to the Economic and Organized Crime Office today in demand of an explanation over the arrest of its member Dennis Miracles Abuaje. The party says the demonstration is intended to seek answers over the circumstances leading to the arrest, which it believes raises concerns about the treatment of opposition figures and the application of due process. The plan action follows claims that Mr. Boache was apprehended at the Accra International Airport by officials of Iyoko with the support of the Ghana Immigration Service, despite allegedly receiving no prior invitation and notification regarding any investigation. The MPP maintains that while it supports lawful investigations and accountability, state institutions must adhere to established legal procedures when dealing with individuals, regardless of their political affiliation. In an interview on July 12, the party's national organizer, Henry Nana Boache, claimed that Dennis Miracles Aboache had not been informed of any alleged offense or invited by Yoko before his arrest. He described the development as an attempt to intimidate members of the opposition. He added that the MPP would cooperate with legitimate investigation involving its members, but insisted that due process must always be respected and that law enforcement agencies should not be used to harass political opponents. So Dennis Miracle Aboaje has been picked by Iyoko. This was revealed by the New Patriotic Party. But then Iyoko is yet to bring out a formal letter or release to show why they did that. So far, this info was gotten from the New Patriotic Party, specifically from the organizer of the MPP, Henry Nana Boache. Now, when we talk about Iyoko arresting or coming in for people and all that, let's look at this. So Iyoko will only come for a person based on reasonable suspicion of an economic organized crime. So they only come for you when they have reasonable grounds to suspect that the person is committing or is about to commit an offense within its mandate. So their mandate covers fraud, banking fraud, procurement fraud, tax fraud, cyber, corruption, embezzlement, misappropriation of public funds, money laundering and terrorist financing, illegal mining, oil bunkering, human trafficking, asset recovery, and confiscation of proceeds of crime. Now, another thing they also pay attention to is they can invite or arrest someone to assist in investigation, take statement, provide document. That is if you make a claim. So we've seen instances where people comment on topical issues concerning governments, concerning state, like anything that is of interest to the state. And whatever you are saying needs thorough investigation. Iyoko will pick you up, and Iyoko picking you up doesn't mean that you are guilty. You are to assist in the investigation. So Iyoko will pick you up. This is what you said. Can you give us more details in what you are saying? The problem will only comes up if whatever you are saying is false. If what you are saying doesn't have enough evidence, or you are just saying that because you felt like you want to say it, Iyoko will pick you up because they want to get more info pertaining whatever you are putting across. That is, if it is of concern to the state. And they also pick you up if they believe that the person might tamper with evidence or flee. So in a case where someone is being involved in corruption and all that, and the circumstances surrounding that embezzlement of state funds clearly shows that if this person gets the chance, he or she is going to fly out of the country, what they do is that they pick you up fast. So it's like before you think, they've already thought. And so the next thing that pushes Iyoko to invite you has to do with if the court has issued a warrant of arrest. So
Mind you, Iyoko does not arrest, but they only do that if a court issued a warrant of arrest. So I think that is one thing that we also need to take into consideration. Under the Ghanaian law, Iyoko can arrest, invite anyone if they have reasonable suspicion of an economic crime. So Iyoko does not just stand up and then go and pick someone because they feel like today they've not arrested anybody, so they just have to pick somebody up. Iyoko doesn't work like that. They don't work like that. If Iyoko gives you an invite, it means you've stated something, you've said something that is of interest, and so they would like to know more. So imagine somebody threatens to kill the president, or someone threatens to cause a coup or something in the country. No one heard of it, but you were fortunate enough to get the info, and you didn't think it's right to communicate it to the right authorities. And what you thought of is for you to speak it out, or maybe one way or the other you found yourself in one of these media stations, and then you are sharing your thoughts, and fortunately and unfortunately it just came across and no more. And when you are done with their questioning and they feel like you are not a suspect, you will be released. But when they feel like you are a suspect, then you will be detained for further investigation. So I think we should get this right. Iyoko inviting you doesn't mean that you are guilty. And I feel like that is what the MPP is trying to get it wrong. They have the right. They have the right to call for the release of Miracle Sabuache, because they felt like he has been picked up without no formal info, without no formal reason why he was being picked up. So in a way, the MPP has the right to call for his release, and they are saying that they are going to march. Yes, they are marching to Iyoko today. They want answers to why Miracle Sabuache is being picked. And for them, they see it as an intimidation to opposition parties. You and I know that this is not the first time MPP is making such a claim, that the current administration is on them, is intimidating them, is not allowing them to pour out their grievances, is not allowing them to share their thoughts and all that. But this is what I want us to understand, that Iyoko will not just wake up and then arrest someone or invite someone just because they feel like they want to. Something triggers that. And I'm sure at the right time, Iyoko will release, they'll bring on board their reason why Miracle Sabuache was being picked up. And I think from there we can give a firm conclusion based on this. But for me, personally, if you ask me, I don't see this as an intimidation or whatsoever the MPP is trying to make it look out there. But then Iyoko will pick you up because they would like to get more details into whatever you are saying. And Iyoko will definitely bring out a reason behind the arrest of Miracle Sabuache. So to the MPP, no one is intimidating anybody. No one is trying to infringe on the right of anybody to communicate or whatsoever it is. But I think the right thing should be done, and I feel like they should also know better. Thank you for making time with me on the Biscuit.
Thank you so much for joining us for the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the morning news shortly, and right after that, we'll be back. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com ghanatalksradio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
It's 8 o'clock. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the morning news on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up this morning, Nsawam Prison is currently housing about 700 ECOWAS migrants, raising concerns over detention conditions and regional migration issues. The Minister for Agriculture has commissioned the Feed Ghana Brigades, urging graduates to take up practical roles. Also in politics, Baba Jamal banks on his Akutia experience to drive development in Ayawasu East. On the economy, the latest Treasury bill auction attracted 10 billion Ghana cedis in bids, oversubscribed by 77%. We've got full details on these stories and more coming up right after this. The executive director of the Crime Check Foundation, Ibrahim Opon Quantin, disclosed that Nsawam Security Prison is currently housing about 700 migrants from ECOWAS countries. He noted that overcrowding, language barriers, and lack of access to legal aid are key challenges facing the migrant inmate. The Crime Check Foundation has been advocating for prison reforms and support for inmates who face difficulties during prosecution.
Thank you very much. I think this is what we have been waiting for over the years. We've been doing a lot of advocacy in the criminal justice system, especially on the need for the non-custodial sentencing bill, now community service bill, to be passed into law. And graciously, it's been passed into law. I'm sure some of you may have followed what we did with the late Christian Achu, especially with regards to the payment of fines for petty offenders. And I think, so we at Crime Check introduced what we call the Petty Offenders Project. And it is the single largest intervention in that decreasing prison congestion. So, but we realized that it was not going to be sustainable, because for how long would you continue to pay the fines of petty offenders, release them, and so on and so forth? What is worrying, and for which reason why we advocated seriously for the passage of this bill into law, is that we all know that politicians and other categories can use technicalities in court to delay trials. But when someone steals a fowl or a goat, they are quickly shipped into prison. So that is it. But let me quickly add one component which we may have forgotten. For the migrant component. Migrant prisoners in Ghana are increasing. So we are talking. So let's restrict it to ECOWAS migrant prisoners, because of the regional framework, ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement, that ensures economic integration. We have lots of migrants moving in. And looking at mixed methods research that I have done, a PhD research, you realize that even Nsawam alone has 700. Some has 700. So if you are looking at the total prison population, if it is, let's assume it's 15,000, it is not Nsawam alone. Other prisons also have migrant prisoners.
All right.
Now, if you look at the category of offenses that they are committing, it doesn't fall, most of these offenses are not petty offenses. They are first-degree felony. Yeah. So if we are not careful, we will have a community service bill with the aim of decreasing congestion in our prisons, but replace that bill with an explosion of migrants who are not committing petty offenses, but committing other offenses. So it is worrying.
The Minister of Agriculture has commissioned the Feed Ghana Brigades, a new initiative aimed at driving food production across the country. The minister charged the newly graduated members to get directly involved in agriculture and agribusiness. The Feed Ghana Brigades are expected to support the government's broad agricultural agenda.
We are not merely witnessing a passing out ceremony. We are witnessing the birth of a new national force for agricultural transformation. We are commissioning 506 men and women who have accepted a call to duty, a call to service, and a call to help reset Ghana's agriculture for food security, job creation, industrialization, and national prosperity. The ministry ensures that the trainees receive the necessary operational orientation. Directors and technical officers from the various technical directorates of the ministry took the brigadiers through the operations of the ministry, the objectives of the Feed Ghana program, the implementation arrangements, and the specific roles expected of them in the districts. Therefore, what we have today is a group of officers who are not only technically competent, but also disciplined, focused, and prepared for national service. To our district Feed Ghana coordinators, your duty is critical. You are the link between national policy and district level implementation. You will be expected to coordinate activities, mobilize stakeholders, support data collection, monitor progress, identify challenges, report accurately, and ensure that the objectives of the Feed Ghana program are pursued with seriousness and integrity. You have been trained not to sit in offices and wait for reports. You have been trained to enter communities, to work with farmers, to support production, to promote discipline, to gather information, and to help solve practical problems on the ground. As master gardeners, they will support the establishment and maintenance of productive gardens, promote household food production, improve nutrition, encourage environmental stewardship, and deepen public participation in the Feed Ghana program. I want to urge you that as you are going out to serve as ambassadors of the Agriculture Ministry, whatever you portray, whatever you do, you portray what the minister has invested so much in bringing you up. And Ghanaians are watching all of you. You go out, are disciples of government, to preach the good ways of government. So I urge all of you to behave well, don't joke with your jobs, try and let everybody see that you are really from the Ministry of Agric. Now this crucial moment, your services, your stewardship, whatever you do, will portray the good works of government.
Research fellow at the Center for Democratic Development has urged the president to concentrate on building a lasting legacy during his current term in office. He cautioned that discussions around a potential third term risk distracting the goal of the president. The CDD Ghana fellow also called on political actors, civil society, and the media to prioritize issues of development, accountability, and democratic consolidation over speculative political communication.
I would be very hard-pressed to believe that the framers of the Constitution didn't contemplate how do we avoid political entrenchment in the near future and therefore led to this clarity of you serve 2 terms and that's it. Besides that, there are conventions, practices that we also all live by beyond what the Constitution says. Rawlings served his 2 terms, exited quietly, right? Even the man who was politically entrenched for however many years still respected term limits and walked away, right? Kufuor walked away. President Nana Akufo-Addo has walked away. So some of these things must even inform whatever conversations we want to have around the issue of term limits. For me, the African problem is not one of how many years you get to serve in office, regardless of the good work or otherwise that you do. Because after all, we have seen countries where presidents have been entrenched for so many years, but we still see the state of that. So the term limit for me is a protection against allowing a good president to exit when the applaud is loudest, but also to allow a bad president to exit so they don't cause any more injury to citizens. I know respectfully that the panelists from the NGC side did mention that there's something in something called purposive interpretation. Yeah. Yes, courts can look at the textual language and still try and read meaning into it. But at the same time, purposive interpretation should not also become the basis, in my respectful opinion, to engage in judicial activism. Okay. Regardless of how great you think President John Mahama is doing. For me, and someone who has written about his presidency, his first presidency, I've had conversations with him, and I've been saying that I hope good things happen because the subtext of what I wrote about him is about redemption. I don't think this is even the note on which he wants to end his redemption story of having lost 2 elections, come back, being given the chance to again to leave us with a good legacy. So no matter the temptations, then let me end on this note. Mm-hmm. If being a good president is reason why we must ask the court to think about whether 2 terms actually means 2 terms, different times or consecutively, then what should President Kufuor have done then? Then, because if you think of the state of the country in 2008, and if you think of the fact that in the history of Afrobarometer, no year has received such great ratings about governance, government performance, all of that, then President Kufuor could have easily said, I've done a good job. Ghanaians have even said it in 3 rounds of Afrobarometer. Let's ask the court to try and see if maybe 2 terms doesn't mean, or it means something else, and maybe we can even fidget with it so I can continue serving because of it.
Former Deputy Minister and NDC parliamentary candidate Baba Jamal revealed his experience in Akwatia will be key in serving the people of Ayawasu East effectively if given the nod. According to him, the challenges and lessons learned during his time in Akwatia have equipped him with the knowledge to address the needs of constituents. The former legislator is seeking to represent the Ayawasu East constituency.
Fortunate MPs that me called 2 constituencies. Fortunately for me, one year typically rural constituency, and my consular community. So I can say, rural communities now, never a young lawyer pine, electricity, schools, hospitals, chip centers. And you know, because I could joke up with Jamison, I could jump by in a chassis. May see chip centers, markets, electricity, so we do 42 boards. So I must say, we now do what rural community, their demands are different.
A group of concerned New Patriotic Party youth has called on the leadership of the New Patriotic Party to take immediate action in protecting the unity and cohesion of the party. The group says internal divisions and unresolved grievances risk weakening the MPP ahead of future elections if not properly addressed. They urge the leadership to initiate reconciliation efforts and ensure inclusiveness.
To the regional executives there, I want to when Nimra Mehwe Buakanoff say ye near brace ye pese ye party ni kon anymore. Niema ni bi oba enkoyi na nyina entrance na yenkasa na yemfa asundwie emra baabi asem ne da yemfa nto ne osese ye kan anim yenka nanim ne wose yetunefu yentunefu ne nyina timi ko anim as a political party so ya ne bekwa. I don't think so to help us because in Botama Yakabon class when your votes is still coming down. Not pinching back. And for all you know, for no idea exact home. Those people are Bay or Munti, for which me a higher part in the power. And yes, for the agro and society the agro, right?
But yeah, 2 conferences bay. So Oman restate one about one number because the embassy no Basabasan the embassy aba na sabi obinto twade an obinto ne se no nchaza basabaza ni se platform to hwan sem ekoso ne ade a enye etina so omuri restate one yetimi koyanim since the day on the region on my try executive ni nyina including former MP num ni ade nyina try say they want peace in this constituency on my regional chairman Jeff on my friend on funny phone it will be on funny phone. How do you communicate with him? Assembly a big issue. It involves MPP. Say constituency you vote a conform pa. If you a conform, it is someone is obvious idea. Now they want to tell us constituency you venture NDC for. It is better NDC for.
You better skirt and blouse. Ediama and party no. Say san won pena. So won pena san so no pesa so due bad ya. And you won't share no fat your man to 2 years.
Party na ye no. Saturday and sun radio MPP atade and sun radio sesun radio mintimi. Ye nyina ye nkabom ene ye de ye party ne ye de pagya party no. Na sen kunsun we adapatwa ade atia we sesei. Me feel say eno moa party no.
In business, investor appetite for treasury bills trending sharply on the primary market last week, with the latest auction attracting bids nearly double the government fundraising target. According to results released by the Bank of Ghana, investors submitted a total of 10.3 billion Ghana cedis in bids across 91-day, 182 and 364 days treasury bill tenets against a target of 5.67 billion Ghana cedis. This represents an oversubscription of 77%, underscoring strong demand for short-term government securities. The Treasury accepted 7.38 billion of the bids received, exceeding its financing target by 1.71 billion as it took up a larger share of investor demand. The 364-day Treasury bill continued to dominate investor interest, attracting 5.65 billion in bids. Of the amount, the government accepted 4.53 billion, accounting for the largest share of the funds raised. The benchmark 91-day bill recorded bids worth 2.98 billion, with 1.80 billion accepted. Meanwhile, investors tendered 1.40 billion Ghana cedis for 182-day bill, of which the Treasury accepted 1.6 billion Ghana cedis. Yields were mixed across the curve. The yield on the 91-day bill eased marginally by 1 basis point to 5.86% from 5.87 in the previous auction, while 182-day bill remained unchanged. The 364-day bill, however, increased 7 points to 12.99% from 12.92%, reflecting sustained investor demand for higher returns on longer-dated government securities. The latest auction marks a sharp improvement
from the previous sale when investors submitted 4.16 billion in bids. The surge in subscription point to renewed investor confidence in government securities despite elevated interest rate. Looking ahead, the government plans to raise 7.36 billion through Tender 2016 to support its short-term financing needs. To sports, England stands one win away from the first Men's World Cup final since 1966 as Jude Bellingham's brilliant two-goal display inspired them to beat Norway after extra time in Miami. Thomas Tuchel's side rode their luck in quarter-final played in fierce heat and humidity. But Bellingham was once again a talisman to send England into the last four, where they will play either Argentina or Switzerland. In a Titans encounter, Norway went ahead after 36 minutes, where Andrews Shedrep's deep in effort deceived England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford to fly in. He was forced into half-time changes, replacing the influential Declan Rice, who has been struggling with illness and injury, as well as Noni Madueke, sending on Eberechi Eze and Bukayo Saka. Norway threatened after the break, seeing a goal by Torbjørn Hagen ruled out for Erling Haaland, needless shove on Elliot Anderson, while David Moller-Wolf headed against the bar. England now go into their third World Cup semi-final since they lifted the Jules Rimet Trophy 60 years ago, hoping they can change their fortunes after losses to West Germany 1990 and Croatia in 2018. In showbiz, the 2024 MC Hype Man of the Year, the Ghana DJ Awards, MC Portfolio has commended the organizers of the award scheme for their continued effort to recognize and elevate the work of DJs and MCs in the entertainment industry. In a post shared on July 11, the award-winning MC expressed appreciation to the Ghana DJ Awards for creating value for music taste makers and helping to raise the profile of event hosts and DJs. MC Portfolio said the award scheme has played a significant role in transforming DJs and MCs into recognized brands within the entertainment industry. He further appreciated the organizers for their consistent support of the industry over the years and pledged the continued support of DJs and MCs as preparations begin for this year's edition of the awards. MC Portfolio was crowned Hype Man of the Year at the 2024 Ghana DJ Awards, recognizing his contribution to Ghana's event and entertainment industry. His latest remarks add to ongoing and growing appreciation of the award scheme's role in promoting excellence and professionalizing the work of DJs and event hosts across the country. The 2026 Ghana DJ Awards, powered by Smirnoff, is expected to be launched on August 1st. On global updates, the South African government says more than 53,000 foreign nationals have been deported since launching a migration management campaign 5 weeks ago. Most were from Malawi, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. The number is likely to rise as repatriations and deportations continue. South Africa is carrying out one of its biggest crackdowns on undocumented migrants in years, following weeks of anti-immigration protests that have seen violence, intimidation, and looting. Protests have been demanding tighter border controls and mass deportations, accusing migrants of contributing to high unemployment, rising crime rates, and a collapse of public services. The United Nations has cautioned against using migrants as scapegoats for South African socio-economic challenges. Anti-migrant activists have threatened to stage weekly protests to pressure the government until their demands are met. The demonstrators had set an official deadline of June 30 for all undocumented migrants to leave the country. Countries including Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, and Kenya have flown their citizens home in recent weeks. Justice and Constitutional Development Minister Mamloko Kubayi announced on Sunday that 53,499 foreign nationals have been processed for deportation and repatriation, which is dominated by the Malawis, followed by Zimbabweans and Mozambicans. She said the repatriation and deportation process has helped them catch people who were wanted by the police for alleged criminal activity. Authorities will continue to enforce its immigration laws, but caution that protesters should not conduct unauthorized searches of homes and businesses that are suspected of sheltering undocumented migrants. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has acknowledged public concerns about immigration, but has condemned attacks against migrants. South Africa is the continent's wealthiest nation and has long attracted migrants searching for better economic opportunities. And that's a wrap on the morning news update. Thank you so much for sticking to your radio. Do well to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalks Radio for more news stories. I am Deborah Adol, so do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adosu.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring you fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Your daily dose, here we go.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Only on Ghana Talks Radio. Turn it up and stay tuned. For the top that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day. Every voice, every vision, lighting up the way. Rise and shine, come join the light.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Good morning to you once again, and you're welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This still happens to be your favorite online radio station. You're streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio TV, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do all to log on, send in your comments. Let's get interactive right here on the morning show. Yes, I know you are waiting for the second segment of the morning show, but we'll be looking at some interesting news headlines before we delve into it. Since there are lots of happenings in the news this morning, a lot of trending stories, especially from the camp of the NPP, and I'm itching to actually delve into these issues with my leaders. So this morning, as part of the headlines, we have Miracle Sabuaje being picked up by Iyoko at the Accra International Airport. And as part of that, the NPP will be marching to Iyoko this morning. The set time on the flyer was 7 a.m. So I'm sure by now they should be at the front, in front of Iyoko office right now, calling for the immediate release of Miracle Sabuaje. As part of those issues we're looking at and also assessing the aftermath of the cleanup exercise, the nationwide cleanup exercise. These are the two topical issues we'll be looking at before we have our guests joining us in the second segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Do all to log on, join us right here on the show. We are still streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. It actually promised to be very exciting and very insightful as we'll be bringing you all the factual stories and the news right here this morning. So this morning, I'm elated to have right here in the studios Mr. Biadoso and Miss Regina Bless. I took them away from breakfast, and they're actually supposed to be on grounds to report on the issue of Miracle Sabuaje, but they'll be on field very soon, very, very, very soon. So just in case you see them there, make sure that you share your thoughts and your opinions with them. Good morning once again to you, Miss Debbie.
Good morning.
I took you away from breakfast. Sorry about that. You're actually supposed to be going for reporting, but unfortunately, my guests are not yet in. Of which they'll be joining me shortly. So once they come, I will release you to go to Iyoko.
Right.
Yes, Miss Regina is somewhere. She'll be joining us shortly in the studios. Yes, so a lot is going on. With the issue of Miracle Sabuaje. Miracle Sabuaje has been picked up by Iyoko, and according to the Director of Communications of the NPP, Richard Danhiagba, he was picked up on Saturday evening at the Accra International Airport. As to why he has been picked up, we don't know. And his lawyers has been denied access, and even anyone at all has been denied access to see him. So as it stands now, we don't know his condition as to whether he's well. If he's okay, we don't know. His lawyers do not know as well. So due to that, the NPP will be marching to Iyoko this morning to demand the immediate release of Miracle Sabuaje. And aside that, there's a lot also going on. I think they held their branch election, their branch elections on Saturday. I think within the weekend, they held their elections And a whole lot of issues have also, come up out of that elections. And one question we keep asking is, are these people actually ready for the 2028 election? Are they going to heal properly before they move into the election? Let's get into the stories of Miracle Zabwaje. Miss Debbie, Miracle Zabwaje has been picked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as to why he has been picked up, we don't know.
It's still unknown to us, but then we hope that as the day goes by, or by the end of the day, there should be a release from Iyoko stating the reason why he has been picked up. And I'm sure when we get on grounds to, if we are given the chance to communicate with the Iyoko officials, which I know is going to be difficult, but then when we get the chance, we'd like to know why he was being picked up to. He was being invited, yes, because we don't know.
Was he invited? Because according to what I'm hearing,
there's not an invite, because they said he wasn't given an invite.
He wasn't given an invite, no notification.
Yes,
no
he was just picked up. But then I'm sure Iyoko will not pick you up just because they feel like they want to pick you up. But then I believe they've heard something, or maybe you said something, and they want full details on whatever you are sending across. And Miracle Sabwaje was the same person that said on somewhere May feed in an interview, he said